Hi, it's Deb Blum here from Inspire for Life. And I realized that I have some old videos on here and I didn't really want to get rid of them, but things have changed for me and I've gotten really clear on what I'm doing. And so I just thought I'd share that with you. So I'm a life coach and I work with moms. I kind of call myself more of like maybe a life design strategist or a life strategist. But the crux of the work that I do with people is work on authenticity. So I work with moms. And I'm going to tell you more about the philosophy of why I do what I do and what I see as the kind of, I guess, the impetus for um, why I think it's needed. So, moms are awesome. I'm a mom. I hang with moms all the time. I totally get it. I have 10 and 12-year-old boys, and we bust our butts. But we also, in many ways, we sacrifice our lives, our own lives, in a bid to make our own kids' lives better. But the crux of what I want to talk about today is the idea that our kids learn what they live more than they learn what we tell them. So I know we'd like to believe that that's not true, but because I happen to be hanging out with more people who are raising teenagers now, they're starting to really see that their children have picked up on a lot of their habits and they do a lot of the similar things, and it's becoming true. So I encourage people to really take a look at that and take it as the truth. I notice it in my own life that I really see myself being pulled more towards the life that I was raised in, and that I have to actually work very hard to create a different life for myself. And I know that I hear people say all the time, "Oh my God, I'm becoming my mother," or something like that. So I know it's so easy for that to happen, um, but here's the thing. So if we want our children to be a certain way, we can try to do it by just teaching them and talking to them and guiding them along the way. And there's some serious value in that. But if there's a direct contradiction in the way you're actually living your life from what you expect from them, it's actually just going to be an uphill battle for them to actually be that way, unless they reject who you were, in which case that's not necessarily what you want either. So let's just take an example. So most of the people that I ask, most of my clients and just even friends, if I ask them what they want for their children, there are definitely some themes. And I think that a lot of this has to do with being a modern mom, but I also think that there are some things that all of us have wanted for our children for generations. For example, I think there's some level of success that everybody would like for their children. Financial success so that at least they don't have a hard life. And perhaps maybe in addition to that is now people really want their children to be doing something that they do enjoy. We want our kids to be doing something that they're good at and they're passionate about. We also want our kids, though, to be living a life that's true to themselves. We want them to um, be free thinkers, be independent thinkers. We want them to feel good about themselves. We want them to have confidence. We also want them to have relationships, right? So we don't want them to be conforming and falling prey to sort of peer pressure. And yet at the same time, we really do want them to have good, authentic relationships where they can connect with people. And we want them to have great love relationships. Like we really do want them to get married and have a great marriage where there's mutual respect and connection and friendship and intimacy. And we also want them to have babies. And so there's a lot that we have and we hope for our children. And in many ways, we are living that way for ourselves, but in many ways, we also aren't. And that's the stuff that I really want moms to look at and dads. But things like, are you doing things that really bring you alive, that bring meaning in your life, things that you feel really good about and that you really feel fulfilled by? Do you live a life that's true to yourself, or are you too busy trying to be everything to everyone and you really put yourself last on the list? I mean, when you really think about that, is that actually what you want for your kids? Like, do you want your kids to grow up thinking that they should be last on the list and everyone else should be before them? Because if they are, they'll never really be able to be the happy people you want them to be. And perhaps you're doing a job that you don't love and you're modeling that you're just doing a job that you have to do or you feel you have to do and you're not pursuing your dreams. Now, don't get me wrong, I think there's something awesome about modeling that you're a hard worker and that you are um, uh, committed to your family. And so I'm not trying to suggest there's anything bad or negative about what we all do as parents, but I think we can be doing a little bit better. And I think that our kids really, really want us to be living a life that's true to ourselves. They want authentic and real parents. And they also want parents that are emotionally available and present with them and not exhausted and that have time for them. And that parents who actually look at their children and are like enthusiastic supporters of them and yet have their own life too. So their cup is filled in other ways. And so what my thought is that the best way that any parent can really truly be guaranteed or most guaranteed to have their children end up be what they want them to be is if they can do it themselves. So to step into the vision that you want for your children for yourself. And the core piece that I see that crosses over all of this is a level of authenticity. Okay, so that's what I see like in all of the things that I think that most people want. Everybody's really craving being themselves. See, being ourselves is actually easier to be than to try to be like everything to everybody else and try to figure out what everybody wants. So, but being ourselves is actually not as easy as you think because society and our family and friends, they're used to us being a certain way, and that way is kind of defined by a lot of other things. So it's kind of an uphill battle to try to figure out how to be ourselves. And so sometimes working with someone like me, a coach, I can help to keep you on that path and help guide you and reveal all the areas where you continue to hold back from really being yourself. And ultimately, what my clients are getting is they're finding careers and jobs that they love, that they really are fulfilled by. But even more than that, they are finding joy in parenting and in life that they didn't experience before. They are feeling much more confident as a parent and feeling much more connected and close to their children. Their children are noticing changes. Their husbands and partners are noticing changes. They are in marriages sometimes that were falling apart that now look like there's hope. They were in marriages that were kind of just and they're getting better and they're finding more closeness and connection. And there's a lot of great stuff happening. And the biggest thing is just a sense of feeling more of a real sense of happiness and that they're not kind of lost and feeling a little bit wondering what, if this is all life is. And a sense of inner peace and inner confidence, like that sense that they can handle anything. So I think that now's a good time to check out my website and maybe give me, send an email to me. My website is www.inspire4life.com, so inspire4life.com. And you could send me an email at deb@inspire4life.com. If you're on my website, feel free to find your way to set up an initial consultation. I actually have a owning your own happiness strategy session that I do for it's complimentary and 1 hour, and you feel free to book that and we can talk and see if we have some connection and chemistry and if it seems like it's a right match for us to work together. I'd really love to. I love helping moms. I love helping people that really do want to live to their ultimate potential. And that's what I'm here for. So please reach out. And if you don't want to call me for coaching, that's okay too. My website has lots of information. You can sign up and get my regular blog updates and other updates of events and groups that I'm hosting. And maybe at some point we'll find a way to connect. Thanks so much and really best of luck. I really look forward to you living a life that's true to yourself. Bye-bye.